All right, so another week. Overall, I've really enjoyed my TESOL placement. It's been a little hard at times trying to figure out where my place is, and it's been a lot of flexibility and trying to go with the flow and step in where needed. Um, like the last few weeks, we have a student who is diagnosed with some sort of psychological thing where he likes to defy authority. So he's a brilliant kid, very smart, but he won't turn in any work or um, won't always listen to directions and is trying to do things his own way at his own time. So it's been a learning process trying to learn how to help him to actually get his things done and how to respect deadlines so that he's not failing the classes. But um, overall, there are three main things that I've actually taken away from this this experience. One of them is making time and effort into learning part of the student's language. Um, I a lot of times with the girl from Egypt, I know I only talked about her most times, but it seems like she's the only one that is more in touch with her first language, and it's actually the language that gets spoken at home. I think for the other students, it's safe to assume that the majority of them actually speak English in the house, so that they have a deeper English background in their home language doesn't come up as often. We do try to learn and try to connect with them in terms of their culture and ask them questions about their country and stuff, but I've noticed how important it is for us to learn part of their language, even if it's just a greeting or maybe it's thank you or how are you. So just like learning those phrases, those words make a huge difference, especially in connecting with the student and enforcing that bond with them in that relationship. The second thing that I've learned is to be patient because you don't know the kind of things that the students are going through at home. You know, some of them might be trying to get used to a new country and a new language, and we're getting impatient with them because they're not finishing their assignments on time. Maybe they have a speech impediment, or maybe mom is sick or dad is sick. So just trying to be patient with them, to understand where they're coming from, and to take the time to learn that so that we can be serving them better, and better understanding of their progress and their performance in the classroom is really important. Sometimes I feel myself overwhelmed with external things. Maybe it's from school, maybe it's assignments, maybe it's things that I've been working with the student. And I get a little impatient, and I get guilty for being impatient with them and guilty of maybe talking back or speaking with a certain tone that wasn't understanding. So I'm constantly praying for patience and for understanding to know that the things that I have to struggle with are not as hard as what the students are struggling with, and they're coming to me for help, so I should be there willing to help them, and always do it willingly. Always do it with a purpose, and always doing it too with love, because that is really important. And the last thing that I've really learned is that a student's ability in the English language is not equal to their intelligence, because, and this I say because a couple of the students who are not the strongest in terms of their English, they're actually some of the most intelligent students. Like seeing them work in English, in science and in math assignments, you know, they don't speak English that well, but just the understanding and the extension of what they know and their intelligence is huge. Like it just amazes me. If I'm walking around the classroom and my student from China is working on his math, how he's doing all the math on his mind, and then you ask him, how do you know that is 4.2? Like, how do you know? You're not showing any work. You don't have your calculator out. How do you know that's 4.2? What are you using to show your work? How do you know? And he goes and says, well, I feel it. And I'm like, that's insane. That's just like your intelligence, like your English doesn't let us see how smart you actually are. So I've been amazed at that, and honestly just how smart the students are. The other students too, I could be reviewing something with them for science, and they're like, no, I've already learned this actually since like fourth grade in my own country, and this is pretty easy for me, but it's just the English that's confusing. So they know the concepts, it just the language is kind of standing in the way. And I'm really looking forward to know where some of these students are going to be. And today I realized that I only have about a month left with the students, so that made me a little sad because I can't imagine the rest of the school year without them and without continuing to see their progress, because I feel like I'm just getting started and I'm about to leave them in just a month. I kind of wish that I could stay with them for student teaching as well, but God has other plans and school has other plans. So maybe someday I'll be able to go back and learn about how they're doing and how they finished up their school year. Maybe in 4 years, some of them will be valedictorians or in honors classes or going to big schools in a couple of years. So I'm interested to see too where their journey takes them next.